Is it okay?
Not sure what they did.
Huh?
Not sure what the sound is.
Yeah. You have the phone ID?
Yes.
New?
Yes. Translator doesn't know.
Yeah, no. You send me. Check myself, okay?
Okay. We'll do it.
I don't know, today this email is defended from very undecimal. From that, you?
Do you want me to screen share the text?
Text?
Yeah, I just got the precious garland from Elizabeth.
Yeah, you check, okay? You like, I don't mean, it doesn't matter for you, okay? Okay. And now, this prayer book was yeah, okay. Dalai Dhammarai Chibe Rai No Parai Chibe Ge Tarvai Dang Tam Chin Chem Wartu Ju Parai Chibai Tam Chi Je Zu Chibe Mai Nam Ka Dang Nyam Be Sim Chen Tam Chi Dewa Dang Den Dung Ar Dang Chi Nyor Tu La Na Me Ba yang tabare zobe chanchoren boche tobare chai dalai damre chibe ja nobare chibe ge tarwa dang tam jin chenbe wardu chi ba tam chi je zo chi be ma nam ka dang nyam be tham chen tham chi de ba dang den dung ara dang che nyor tu la na mi yang ta ba re zo be chang chu ren bo chi to ba re cha English maybe Ina
English.
yeah English
All all mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly will I establish them in a state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood.
Ti chi tu san ma ji ji war tu lu nga yi sun ge wa la e gor ma xi war tu lu nga yi sun ge wa la e gor tu te ren ne song de ni ma san ta zam ji war tu lu nga yi sun ge wa la e gor
Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind.
Sanje chodan soje chonan lai chancho vardu dane japsun che dake jin so jin be zonam che ro la pencher sanje ro bar hyo sanje chodan soje chonan lai chancho vardu dane japsun che dake jin so Jimbe zonam chen ro la pencher sanje ro bar sho.
In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings.
Ma nam ka dan nyam be sim chen tam chi de wa dan de ve ju dan den bar ra chu ro je. Dung ara dan dung har ge ju dan re bar ra chu ro je. Dung ara mi be de wa dan me je bar chu je. Nye ren cha dan Ni tang che be dang nyon la ne bar shur je ma nam ka dang nyam be sim chen tam je de wa dang de we ju dang den bar shur je hai dung ar dang dung ar ge ju dang che bar shur je dung ar mi be de wa me je bar chur je nye ren cha da ni dan che be da nyo la ne bar chur je
May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Jam chen je to min zam len jian cha pe dong suan yong la cha zur min jar wa dur jian chang pan ji tian gong bu xiao lan du tu da du zam ju chu len jin je lo pie ye jian nian ke men ba zhen ne Sem zhu zhe su do bar qin jie lo.
Unequaled refuge, ornament of the world, your fame pervades the 3,000 worlds. You are the victor of Vajradhara without a doubt. I bow at the feet of the Father, Chigten Somgun. Continually I think of no one but you. Compassionate One, grant your blessings. Dispel the darkness that surrounds my heart. Please bless me so that I may realize the unelaborated nature of mind.
Saye bo ju jo shen me to zhang shi ra len ye nian de jian ban de sang ji shen na mei de pu wa ye zhou ku nam da shen de ju ba xiu.
The ground is sprinkled with scented water and strewn with flowers. It is adorned with Meru, the supreme mountain, the four continents, and the sun and moon. As a Buddha field, I offer it. May all sentient beings attain the happiness of the Buddha fields.
Om Guru Deva Jagya Nirana Mandala Bardinza Soha Simchen Namje Zamba Tang Loye Chedra Chedava Chechung Tumon Tibagu Chujin Kolo Gortu So.
Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the two vehicles and their combination according to the dispositions and likewise the mental capacities of sentient beings.
Tamge tuge xiaozi re xiongchong xianjian me do duje bongyong we zerjian nongbo dabaro jibi ge xiaozi jiru xiabla jiang zelo dorjian xiangwang de lo naro tang man me tapo pa chun ji tian gong. Ge ji sum dian zawe lam me xia ze ju lam ma ye dam xu yong la zurwan de zu dao ju xin jie lo de du rai zhong tang man me zi ma wang qian ba da da gun jie dang ni yan me ren jian bian ji gen zong gong xiabla gu jiang ze rai wa me xu jian yan ke po zhang ne tu zong sang jie gun jie ngo wen Rasim Chuku Mosu Dongziwe, Zawe Nama Namna Ku Shanzi. O Tene, that's all my address to issues.
Shidele to everyone.
O Tene, Tangaran to the Gonda to the DC, Lam Jordan Chanting on the Mar, this is Lawyer and Chi or O Ten do Tane, Lam Jordan Chanting on the Gumbo Bay, the Shalas. O the Gumbo Bate, Karsana. Sanji Jumdian di Tubejing on the Wu Shun, he said that any Pomotree zone or Tubeja, not Chanchu and the Wu Shuns. Karichu to get on to his water, Tubejing Sanji Shota Tubejing or Chanchu and the Wu Shuns. Or taking on Chanchu and Mambo Zekinanta, Sanji Jumdian di do ding in the Jarbonde, para Chapertinia, Suyu, Kerlon, Zongu, Shimbato, Jamixi Kerlania, Chongmi Bara, the Chanchu and the Wu Shuns, taking a Mambo. Do dingen sin zike de Bergins or the Russian conque that can end on you. Or the Kenashu do them tissue net, Jela, that Karicho to Genon Soji, she is a hook, not constant, a whole of a hook, Genon Soji, that member or Tambo member that is it or then. Or member cheated, jail up them, member or remember China, tennis or that jail teacher watch Travachin and Yamachi, Archie Gadamba, Tambo Gadamba show. Or the jail that is similar, but J or the Dama Charles Simonaro should to the top. Or the Richin, that's a Tapo Gaju, Chunia, that's rich on your or then it's similar, Jetta, Marva, Melaripa, that's what top and Tombo rate. That's a Malari Peke, that the long dome of Carzon or Sena. That Taporum with my pets, Hane, Kong started the tip Nolomasamas on the Shozone, the Carzon or Sena, Dagung is on the Chago sports sons, or Chago bought upon a rich project on Haba me sons, or the rich boutique on Habu, Chorling Amba, Mambo, Singamba Servoyura, or Namba Servoyedua, or Tenor Mambo, Jen Duson and me sons. Or Tene Ambassadors or part Tring Ambassadors or part on the Chilling Ambassador, Korea Mambochi, Numba Sama and Ambassador Council at Rimanami Sons. Tin to Tanga Major Kila Rabjum Mambo in those. Tang is not in Bechavachin, those Chirimaragon. You want that rich on there. Tajil, Tapo Gaju, Sawada, Gaju Samata, Tapo Gaju Seta, Gumbo Palman, rich on your wa.
Lungten dirwa, lungten di nalara, tangi dingetin do dirwa, Tuni singa poti nala tini tapo rinpoche kong larche ki phakiri sungita.
라제 그 멤버와 제단 강리 쪽에 개론 소지 시에 정도 파모트에 또 바로와티나 그
Di
개론 소지
dodi
샤나
nala ra.
멤버 소바 소지 샤나 아
Di dodi nala ti sungita sangi
도
chomdini.
나나 세르반 도 땡겐지 저버
Di nala sungita. Okay, yeah.
말에 파모트에 또 바제 요레스
Pamu.
제나 투베 정한다고 쇼네 시에스 강리 투송데 개론 소지 시스 들어와 파모트에 다보는 또 바제 요라 디나 텐주송 오레스 다이송에 디나
Yeah.
야보스 너 디리아 타르 지금 뭐 장라 땅 시가다 말와샤
Nga ala nga kicha koda.
지나 공부 거기랑 해 여고 시작 하면 다른 거나
Oh. Oh. Okay. So we're starting our series of the teachings, so the evening teachings on the precious garland of the sublime path by Gampopa. And so first a little bit of the background of Gampopa. And there is a praise by Pamo Drupa where he praises the great medical practitioner, the doctor, basically the great doctor the great physician who is an emanation of who is Dawa Shano, the Bodhisattva Dawa Shano, or youthful moonlight, and so Dawa Shano, so that was the praise from Pamo Drupa, and so who is Dawa Shano, this Bodhisattva? So that goes back to the time of the Buddha Shakyamuni, and he's mentioned in the Samadhi Raja Sutra. And in there, so there's a story of where the Buddha asks his assembly of many bodhisattvas who will take on the responsibility of upholding and increasing this teaching, so the Samadhi Raja Sutra, this teaching. And so none of the bodhisattvas said anything, but then the Bodhisattva Dawa Shano, the youthful moonlight Bodhisattva, he then said, I will take on this responsibility. I accept this responsibility of upholding it in future times. And so then, so this was the Dawa Shano that and later Pamodrupa referred to in his praise. And so he was the one who committed to upholding the Buddha's teachings in the future. And he also was a physician. And after that, he became a monk. And then he first practiced under the Kadampa lineage. And then later he met Milarepa, his guru, from whom he received the instructions on Mahamudra and the 6 yogas of Naropa. And from him, so from Gampopa, then comes the Dakpo Kagyu lineage, the practice lineage. And so Milarepa and Marpa had already gained high realization. And so there was a time when Milarepa, when he had already attained highest realization, he had this vision of Gampopa's arrival. And so before that happened, he assembled all of his disciples together, and he told them that last night I had this dream where a crow was flying in the sky, and it settled down. It landed on the mountain, and then it became surrounded by yellow geese, or sometimes called a swan, but like big like a wild goose. And so in Tibet, those geese are yellow. And so he was surrounded by these yellow geese, and there were so many of them that the entire valley appeared to be yellow. And so Milarepa said that I take this as a sign that my future follower will be a monk and upholds the teachings. So,
드네 다 남초어는 전 청와 서다 담도 남초어는 전 청와 쇼 저탄들이 다 다보는 뭐지 그 마음 발랑알 세바요래 알제 마토 잠네 텐류 잠냐요나 아 내게 송혀래다 타고 살지한타 남초는 뭐르지한 친구가 니니포 야보 다지나 내가 토들 셰파미 생각다 치바 셰파미 송도와.
And so we will discuss his text, the precious garland of the supreme path. And Gambopa himself had said that in the future, if a devoted disciple wishes to meet me, if they meet my teachings, specifically the precious garland of the sublime path and the jewel ornament of liberation, if you see these teachings, it is no different than meeting me in person.
that's the Gumbo beta, she is on Dama, the Lamcho and Lamcho, Lamcho Seriat, Karsana, the Lamcho Seriat, says, Lamna, Chos, Java, Tipa Chimbolam, or Tipa Chimbo, some by the Jurva Yorua, Tender the Derva, the Thunderva Yojo, or Tinderva non, that's a Natonyamachia, Chi Roma, Maroma Yorua, or Teruda, Yon Norson, the Manorson and the one. Yon is so Panto Yobada, Panto Miba. Then Yamnachi will be neck up a go bad. I'm a go, but Luke is that Labjas and that Luke Namiano, so that's a chance of Namju, or tell them so. Tene Landor Jugak, and roots. That's Shedam school, shall I say, but
So this text, the precious garland of the sublime path, the instructions by Gambopa. So first of all, explain the meaning of the title itself. So the sublime path refers to the great vehicle path of the Mahayana. And so in that sense, therefore, it is connected to the motivation and the practices of the Mahayana path. And so this text, these instructions are a teaching that explain how we should engage in practice. What is the mistaken way to practice and what is the unmistaken way? What is beneficial to do, what is not beneficial to do? What is necessary, what is unnecessary, and so on. There's a list of advice of things that we should do and things that we shouldn't do. So.
Tene Dajatanti Lamcho, Syria, from Lord Duina, Tipa, Tipa, Che, the Chung Sami, Juno, so do shall Zawat Chorvat, then Chort Chorva. Ten do Lamcho, Sada Lam Chort Chorva. Lam Garland, the Landor, then the Chort Chorva, Tipa some Jews or do shall tell us, Lam the Chort Chorva, and Lamchos. What Lamcho tell her, the Nigavan Rimbochi Tumasela, the Nigavaniba, Pet and the Rumbochi and Besha. 他人不去听完噻，那他这趟听完噻，那我见见着我了，晓得吧？咱听啊，我在那儿去听完了，这人不见着吧？他别讲的这样的来说吧，然后那说提倡反浪些，他说咋行不知道吧？我他说咱见见人，咱们这里见见要不见多些，再给他按照我这有的话噻，要不多些，但是在中南空忙不苦给的话，我这几天咱们在人堂进步，在是给他按照用按照，他就在有的话，我听的在那一天他。你们俩去啊，南多是说，亲戚马老板真的，老话当就说家里啊，我真的，但开发那说把它出版中这么着有了，我这说，但几天被让他被打吧的，几天人得被让他被打吧，他们去他既然都不做，觉得吧真的，既然去听话，现在这都可以说啥的。
And so it is called the sublime path, and so. It is also given that name. So it is the like this part sublime here. The sublime is that it kind of, or the garland of the sublime is that it ties together, like it brings together the essence, the root essence of all the vehicles. So the greater and the lesser vehicles. All is tied together in this supreme path. And it is like a precious garland. So, for example, a a necklace, a garland that is made of precious jewels, of precious gems like gold or silver or diamonds that we consider something very valuable, very expensive. And when somebody has that, like a diamond necklace, that they spend a lot of money on that, it's very beautiful, and people people look up to it, and so it's quite a renowned like substance, a material. And so that is the precious here. The precious refers to this like jewel-like in essence. And the garland here is in a way like an ornament. A necklace is like an ornament. It is an ornament in a sense that it is that which represents the unmistaken way to practice. So that's the meaning of ornament. It's the unmistaken way to practice, the unmistaken way to know what to do and what not to do. It is the it shows us how to attain realization in our own mind stream. And actually from these practices, many great masters and scholars have emerged. So it embodies the authentic worldly view and also the authentic view beyond the world. So it ties all of these ways of being authentic together, and that is what makes it a garland or a precious ornament.
等到这趟啊，做到这检查才人不去检查才打的呢。他说这边呢，那在我的年纪我他可是来自在有了话，银行全部有关的，全部有了。我让做他娘们去边那看了，娘们去边那看，做娘们家人的，这根本别，但那种看咱做那么前面啷多了，啷呀，他处理样的么不就有了，他说他妈在娘们讲了，可检查的问题，说娘们他说在科技活动去的。
So just like in an ordinary context, when we wear very precious, expensive ornament that looks very beautiful, then we show that off. We boast that ornament because everyone considers it as very precious, as very beautiful. And now in the context of practice, it is the ornament of Gampopa's instructions that present the path of what to do and what not to do, and that and which clears away hindrances.
我当今天从开始从都，现在才从都诺尔文这问题他，当嘛他开始现在接触你不特别是，他接触的定义接触你定义是的是接触你的定义是做的是，这样就，他这花钱用样去敲他怕帮过来是，花钱用样敲他帮呀他没从起呀，他面对敲这一天做年面去呢。 我去啊，他成立的没从起过的说的，成种科学上，他和俺说南桥那件情况的，当多你有了话的。
So the way Lord Jigten Sumgön explained it is that so this precious garland of the sublime path, this instruction, his teaching is like precious jewel, and so these are the precious jewel of teachings are the instructions on the Mahamudra, Dzogchen, and Samadhi. And in order to develop these practices, we must abandon anything that hinders, any obstacle to this accomplishment, and we must practice that which accomplishes it. So these are instructions on what to do and what not to do.
我真的大体的嘛，从的小说现在我的研究的，这个有被同大的，他可以说是小说这样的，这些。
So in the Tibetan, in the title, in the end of the title, it says Shukso, which literally means herein is contained.
我听久了，他挺多南蒙古的写的案件多，南蒙写的恰切从大可以说是古人写的那么的哇。 他从不这样做，他在那么的强切了，是这样做，这趟3年来的这些青年那么的开始不强的有了，这样的他在上街他们其实那么够跟的从他们就上街那个了，我听着跟的里面他在那么强切吧，这么会去呢，所说 냠나 치트야 펜포 요바데나든 라마는 샹세로 세텔랍쇼사리
And it begins with Namo Guru. And Namo means to prostrate, and the Guru is the Lama, the Guru. And so in the beginning, we prostrate to the Guru. And that's because in the Vajrayana practice, the Guru is very important because the Guru embodies all the jewels, all the precious ones. His or body is the Sangha, the speech is the holy Dharma, and the mind is the Buddha. And so if we have great devotion to the Guru, it will greatly benefit our practice.
tene da jidang gambo be tezong do lama de sanje ngo yi za mo hu ya bo chi tene da yi choban bu cha se ba de choban bu ya tin ru chi ding zi tin ru chi go re zong do
When Gambopa said that you should cultivate a devotion that sees the Guru as the actual Buddha, and then bow down respectfully with your mind, make offerings in your mind, prostrate, and cultivate samadhi.
then jigdan zong ka zong sa na zong yo re da ka re zong sa lama mo hu chi na la me to ni mi be xie sa dang rang xian mi bo je ke de ne bie qiang da ma xiang na zi chu na chu long na ji fa cha ga ro te na yi ma na ma xiang ji fa cha ga ro te ni mi ju ge re
And Jigdan Songkhan also said that if you have devotion to the Guru, then the Guru's non-dual wisdom mind and your own mind will merge into one, just like water pouring into water or butter being poured into butter.
等等几天钟我听就听钟，大概的人家出去那嘛有了，这边那嘛的，莫会讲说吧，当然，这个条子全部都把说的这个的是，我在那边请他去，那么的莫会去吧当，我在那老南当嘛什么说就特别，我在那样特别那就特别，听就用个的种了吧。
And Jigdan Songkhan said that if you supplicate to the lineage gurus with devotion, you will receive the Guru's blessings, and the realization of Mahamudra will dawn within your mind, and you will realize the Guru's instructions.
现在他这里嘛，送对真的，他在他的康熙苦为讲出接触人嘛，给个周围这边各具人波去，就把南巴他吧，渐渐其他讲出的因西没些把莫那加这些语人们。 推荐出吧，这就他妈没别那么他把那强势人家不是经济拉不做什么，他这确保的就把那种科学责任，确保的就把，但确保的就把，等下做电球这种鼓励有了，确就今年在咱电球在了其他票票，但你们今年就拿其他票，头上今年拿其他票投票，我真的在他请投票在电球他妈总把怎么样了，他请下其他票票，我真的你们今年拿在哪里的，我真的是或者没用的，这是偏给的种有了吧。
And then it says in the text, adorned with the pure conduct of the precious Kagyu, you help us traverse the ocean of samsara, so terrifying and difficult to cross. Your stream of blessings is as inexhaustibly immense as the expanse of the great ocean, and your aspirations are vast, enduring, and spontaneously accomplished. Noble masters of the flawless practice lineage, I bow before you, be my refuge, and grant your blessings. So, and this very first verse in the text is the prostration, and that is very customary in customarily at the beginning of these kind of texts, of these treatises, these commentaries. There's always a kind of a verse of prostration, and the reason of prostrating in the beginning is in order to receive the blessings and to successfully accomplish the practice contained within the text, to successfully learn the contents of this text, and also for the author to successfully complete the composition of this text, and also for us not to encounter any obstacles in practice.
等到他刚先苦为讲说噻，但苦为讲说这一说嘛，给个噻， 아 이제 당가 좀 쿠르바 스르단 쿠르키데레라 왕가 좀 내로 양탑에 통도 만통와지 근데 단 쿠르키데레 나지레 아 년이도 배 샤요가 실험제나 드라마제 로로나 드라마티야 또손 토리 좀 드라마지 미리 손 되네 녀송 좀 드라마지 근데 쿠르키데레 야 카데 통사버 통마시 바지 어제다 쿠르바 세데 쿠르키도 효레다 마레이 바지야 치네 되네 마레이 두지 다 된다 중이 봐 되는 코스도 효라 된다 중이 코는 제바 가와 나와 영 마레이 바 되는 제바 가와 나와라 소바다 또 상마테 용 효라 텐데 되게 관심 코르바 jansu sinjei스러운 일단 쿠르바트리아 타르토비아 깔레 가보 요러와 드네 데 타르토비아 깔레 가보 요리 와 동안만 보자 요리 이제 배찬에 알반데 시랑 동안라서 예다 진금 동안라서 또 동안만 보자 요리 어떤 제이스러운 말이다 와 게가 스르다 타르토비아 가보 요바 어떻게 가보 요바 어떻게 거기로와
And so in that verse it said, help us traverse the ocean of samsara. The ocean of samsara, so samsara is this circle of existence. And we continue to circle in samsaric existence because we do not see our true nature. And the way we circle is just like, if you imagine a fly being caught in a kind of sealed inside of a jar, and so sometimes the fly flies around on the upper parts of that jar, and sometimes it moves down on the lower parts of the jar, and that's just like us moving up and down between the higher and the lower realms. But then there's a lid on the jar and the fly never gets outside. And so we can never, because we go up and down, but we can never escape from it. And that is because we are obscured by ignorance. And due to ignorance starts this cycle of the 12 links of interdependent origination that keeps going around in circles. It starts with ignorance, and then we go through birth, old age, sickness, death, and so on. And then we go through all of these stages, and then we come back to ignorance, and we take birth again, and so on. So we keep going around in circles. That is the ocean of samsara. And then it says it is terrifying. And so terrifying and difficult to cross, meaning that it's difficult to become liberated from samsara, and terrifying because there is a lot of suffering in samsara. For example, in hell, there is the suffering of heat and cold, and for the hungry spirits, there's the suffering of hunger and thirst and so forth. And there's this endless suffering of birth and aging and death in samsara. And it's difficult to become liberated. So difficult to cross, it means that, and terrifying means that there's only suffering. So.
저는 알아서 그 니도 단 칸바 니항라고 저나 드라마 진주용나 게베세 샤고 때 드라마데 다 야는 주디 콘주용도 대 마르톤데 통시키 말하데 게홍트라 센단로 데레 반포리진다 데 문루 그마 철로동나 동탐나 토레 마톰나데 게홍자서 시도도 어ten나기 나랑소야 제 코르바나제 파르 코르바나나 파 로야나 답데고 디소사레 디나 티 파르테레 통토야 디스카레 카바요 사라와 데 디디티 게가 세타 세텐사레.
So, for example, sometimes it happens that like a fly gets caught in your window. So between the window glass, so between outside and inside, so it kind of gets stuck there, and it's quite easy for the fly to get in there, but then not so easy to get out there again. And unless we open the window for the fly to fly out, it will just be stuck there, and often we find dead flies there because they just die there. They never get out. So it's just like samsara. It's easy to go into samsara, but it's a little difficult to get out again. And so this is the meaning of this difficult to cross here.
근데 단 지대종 정도 근데 다 랑키 주라 뇽몬 바지에라 와 랑키 주 뇽몬 바 제대세 농아키 다 뇽몬 바 통그레스 대통 뇽몬 바 티제스 장나 다 류키 지시 메게 차거래 그래서 해당다 세랑도 세나 해당랑도 같이 나서 메게 더 차로 그런 거라서 어때 시당 레카 레로 그래 어때 나 그마시나 책 독자 제 주보 어때 줄 라비아 세 센주 치면 이도 메게 이로 어때 데 지용도 데 나미 텔데네 데 동아스 나발미 그래서 어 녀모마티 나미 되네 된 감성 심지어 처음에 된 코르와트 코르스 어때 코르도 된 코르와 동아스다 아 텔랍 그래 정도는 지금 정도
So Chetan Somgun said that so the afflictive emotions inside your own mind stream are reflected in your activities of body and speech. So we follow our afflictive emotions and then act out on them with body and speech. So for example, we do something physically. For example, if you're angry, you may do something to hurt someone, something out of rage. Or with your speech, you may say something very harsh and hurtful to someone. And of course, the mind is in a non-virtuous state because you're angry. And so everything becomes unwholesome if there's anger in the mind. And then eventually this unwholesomeness will have an effect. And that is suffering. So the full ripening, the effect of our unwholesome states of body, speech, and mind ripen into suffering. And this is how all sentient beings wander in those three realms of samsara. And so that is why Chitin Somgyön calls samsara a state of suffering.
지주면라레 대정도 대 제르 감성 코르베 파유다스 다 파유인데스 제르 감성 코르베 파유인데오라 감성 코르바든 가서 대도 데모 멤베 데모 멤바 마그롬 탭스 다 데모 멤바 마그롬 나 탭도스 다 지고 추네요 말이스 나라서 란도스 시그 말이 어 데모 텔데 다 데모 말이 발데 추쇼르 란도르 마시 멤바 탭바나 도차 네탕 잠다 답자 치스 도차 네탕 선은 제 방간데 냥지고 파르데 냥지고 요레스 이나 다 티난 담자 빼침보 요레스 담자 티난 담 소송도 야 통도고 말왕하로 어 되네 창도 참탕 설마고 참탕선나 다들이 창도도 참탕나지 참탕선 도마고 와서 탕 요로와 어디나 설마 서오쇼 간바 수고도 서고 그래 상도 로야 콤바되고 주네요 말이지 어 되는 거레스 되네 시당 치고 소신사 어떤 시당도 치나기레스 치 안마탄 치카지 안마 요로와 어때나 얘네들은 좋은데 사야가 그래서 뭐 사야라 직사그와 소자그와 소지 사스스 간바도 소지 땀 디 신앙자다 제고야 뭐가 충충가 보고도 치소자냐 야 첨부 차도 치시 통도 시용도 디스你们这样但是这方这样你不多工作呢期间有起码我这另外不穷穷个说的家呢这是那其实是强的啊
나오래. 그래. 아니 그냥 촌도 갑라 친년님 보고 간발래.
工作是在俺子娘们头把冲过去啊晓得对不会动啊他盘着了起码我觉得说的家风这是那其实的通的是习惯上的想多毕竟俺逻辑上就来这里对现在结果手机30吧나자 차는 토라 살스다니 나자다 차는 나지데 스펜 톰보요레스 서로 남가들이 야본 로토고 말한 가서 신나제게로와 어때도 차는 토라가 살스 나 추워시리 체르게제 추워시 동아 추워시로 제가 난치 상쿠르에는 제가 난치 동아 추워시리 파 체르게제 어떤 지지말라 대 파게기 상가도 게가 셀람노 게가 세워드네 어때네 대상상나 초장지 세워데 대와 친구 상들어봐
Jazimila Reba, he said that also our homeland, the three realms of samsara. So this is the name of the song. So now he explains our homeland of samsara. So he said that. So how does it look there in this homeland? Yeah. So the ignorance causes darkness. We are caught in the darkness of ignorance, meaning that our mind is unclear, it is clouded, and therefore we are unable to clearly understand what we should do and what we should not do. And then he said, And our desire is like this beautiful flower meadow. But then when you go there, in that meadow, there is a big swamp. And when you go into that meadow, it will suck you down. And once you're in the swamp, you will never get out again. And jealousy is like a large open plain of rocks. And not only rocks, also there on those rocks are many thorns. So it's not very pleasant to walk on those rocks. Wherever you go, you feel like something is stinging you. That's jealousy. Hatred is like a vicious dog. It will eat you alive. So I hear Ruben said as a side comment, in Tibet often dogs are quite vicious. And he said, I myself was actually bitten by a dog as a little boy. And so I was about 8 years old. And it was actually Ruben Chilningbo's dog when I was 8 years old. And it was a red dog. And it bit me as a little boy. And ever since, still now, whenever I see a dog, I feel a little bit afraid. Dogs are quite vicious in Tibet, yeah. And then pride, he said, is like a high cliff, a high mountain. It's difficult to walk on a high on a high cliff. It is dangerous and scary. So Milarepa said, therefore, so this is this homeland of samsara, and I will leave it. I will cross it and go beyond the 4 rivers, meaning the 4 rivers of birth, old age, sickness, and death. And I will go to the beautiful land of great bliss.
저는 지금 말하려고 공투정도 다 지상치는 감성크로와서서 연송그 동아서서 이제 고홍도 공변직사 제시도 배창다 상당 선보면나 조반나지 들루 어용기도 신직차 전에 대용기도 어떤 든지 연도야라 인와도 이제 뭐뭐怎么样的든지라 그러와 그 인와的어떤天秋季有人今天秋季就是旁浪多起啊他说这今天去做狼样的工他说起啊就别强的想呢没超过那的了在卡拉嘛啥嘛差卡拉就你那的了我听就卡拉这强的先把老是吧等到应该先老都种多红我听对这俺让说
오빠 가른 나게도 그때 셴벌 롱캔디
没就你那啥就骗那啥呢
就样
马长的就是了哇我听就的咱们养的就的养的听就什么这下呢这个三度有嘛啦现在可以先把老个吧我真的把老都是空我到底他们在那个从研究的话自己是过学啥的我研究的话自己是没那个做你们俩请的做主题是啦古马起头学嘛研究自己是写信不问题真的他们当可以给讲出给个吧因把这什么当呢真的他是听就来的他给个吧是的个就人不去写完多的我这个就人不去就把那把查的亲戚拉些很多个就人不就把那把查吧渐渐很多哈渐渐是我这点呢真的个就人不去的就把那把大把的光把就把那把查吧我甚至有的个就他这当前呢那罗贝这种有了新给穷去出国行罗马为讲养老长但新给穷出国这种爸爸的阿妈的不就是呀是吧这那一个罗马为讲养老的毛把这个三个的什么为讲我这种我天天个就他在打工就送个就人不去我的可把中年的我当可把中年的这就个就人不去这送我的呢他这个我打把那把查吧光把那把就把那把查吧这样的是送多真的这女生呢在今天中午这种我的当然说打把那把查吧的我妈的是我妈现在他打把那把查吧我妈的可是呢他这里上节中间的江边样路drob的嘛就的什么的位置吧打把那把查吧我们打把我真的他就就把那的是那个他妈说起呢你们他过来的土里吧去我这光把那把查吧三个光把那把查吧这三个他可是呢他的 Telo Naro Marjude, Marva Jude, Malariba, Dagamboba Jude, Joba number Sava, Farorchi Barres, Farchin, the Caris, and Nata, Sanji Jumdandine, Jasap Chabambo. Or Terry Mara, Marjune, Tommy Lasso, Tommy, Terry Marjune, Tommy Imiana, Terry Marjune, the Choji Panda Adesha, Chigadana Manane, Yami Gambo Pala Judele. Or Tedagum Josa, that Juba Sumji, or Damhat. Or teach someone that the kept home travel, your is, you can then you can tissue, or to do is on the one.
So, one second. Oh yeah, and so then Milarepa, he also said that so we first need to and that's not what he had said yet, but he said something for us to understand the suffering of samsara. And so first we do need to develop some renunciation and understand that all of samsara has the nature of suffering. And so he said then, Milarepa said, when I think of samsara, when I think of the suffering of samsara, it feels it is like my life body is caught on fire. I feel a sense of urgency. So normally we are distracted by the busyness of our daily life, all the comings and goings of our daily life, and we are caught up in the 8 worldly concerns in everything we do. And so Milarepa said it makes me feel nauseous, just like someone who, I guess I was eating too much. So if you eat so much you can't eat no more, and then somebody forces you to eat even more, then you will feel even more nauseous. So he felt so full and nauseous by just thinking of it. And so what he's saying is that we first have to develop some renunciation, because if we do not have any renunciation, then we will not be driven by a diligence. We will not practice with diligence. So we have to think about that first, and the suffering of this ocean of samsara, and how difficult it is to get out of samsara. And so then here in this line that we just mentioned in the text, so it says, it is adorned with the pure conduct of the precious. So you, to the one I prostrate, you are adorned with the pure conduct of the precious Kagyu. And so you help us cross the ocean of samsara and so on. And so it is adorned with the pure conduct of the precious Kagyu. It refers to the pure view, the pure practice, and the pure conduct. That is them, so the pure conduct of the precious Kagyu. Naropa had said that this lineage is like a lion and its cubs. And so apparently a lion's cub is always somewhat better in terms of like personality than its father and mother. So it's a bit nicer, the cub is better. And so similarly, this is the lineage where the disciple may become better than even the guru, as we have seen with Milarepa, for example. And this is an ornament of how to practice the perfect view, meditation, and conduct. And so what is that? So Lord Sumgön explained that the perfect view is the middle way view, or the Madhyamaka. And this perfect view refers to the lineage of the profound view. So there are 3 lineages of view, meditation, and conduct. And the lineage of the view is called the lineage of the profound view. And this lineage derives from the Buddha, Shakyamuni, and was passed down to Manjushri, Nagarjuna, that later it reached Atisha, and then in the Kadampa lineage, and then also Gampopa. So this is how it reached Gampopa. That's the view lineage. The meditation lineage, so the perfect meditation, according to Jigten Sumgön, is the practice of the secret mantra, the Vajrayanam. And this lineage of the Vajrayanam comes from Tilopa, was passed down to Naropa, Marpa, Milarepa, and Gambopa. And then there is the authentic or the pure conduct. That is the conduct of the 6 paramitas. And that is the lineage of the vast conduct. And that goes back to the Buddha. And it was passed down by to Maitreya and then Asanga and Vasubandhu. And it finally reached also Gambopa. So then Gambopa is said to be, as Chichen Sumgen says, that Gambopa is the confluence of those 3 lineages. So all 3 lineages flow into Gambopa. All of these 3 lineages reach Gambopa.
tene ta zere nge zi se la na tene jizu mala re be ke de zong ra mo nga ze tsai su me che de sing ra nga ser ya nga ke chim bo ma re te ina se nga ye ju ba ngo sar che se ju ba dor jian chang jian de jor mar ba yin chi te se ta dor jian chang de mar ba yin chi wo se ber ke ju ba ma la be kang sa ju be par me chi se de sang jie ju ba jin ba ma to de kang sa ju be par chi mi se de ba tene ji dang jin da nga zo ga ju ba se de yam ne cha ku ju ba 다在乎去哪了个嘛？他在罗局去拖了，他个就比咱们今年忙啥穷用了嘛？天主院的在咱们才就其他就嘛去吧，这当天主的穷用了，他在咱们其他就吧，现在他天主是吧？他其实呢，咱个就做工特来下，他呢，咱个应该做的是干嘛？就是光家了吧？
Milarepa also said that I'm not important, but my lineage is important. My lineage is profound. It goes back to Vajradhara, and from Vajradhara until it reaches my guru Marpa, all of the masters in this lineage have been emanations of the Buddha. This lineage has never been kind of interrupted, kind of intervened by ordinary beings. And this is the practice lineage of blessings of the Kagyu lineage. And also in Tibetan history, we can see that there's no lineage that has produced more practitioners than the Kagyu lineage. And it is also an uninterrupted lineage, and a lineage endowed with great blessings, a practice lineage of blessings. So we will stop the teachings here for tonight and do about 10 minutes of meditation.
tene 다 소소소소 가래 검자도 좀 다다다 코로아 동아리 전소 임바 대고르게 용섬로 당도 검자구나 대조 양나 제다 소소 신내 정다 가래 검표나 제 세sem라와 샤디 스간소 대대 검야이 와다 돌고 되소 시라마다 된 상상가서 저와트는 this is in advance.
So you can meditate on anything you like. For example, you can reflect on the suffering ocean of samsara and think about renunciation, or you can practice shamatha, calm abiding, and just settle in a natural state. And so just meditate about whichever way you wish. And so tonight we don't have so much time, but another time we will also have some time for some questions.
야, 피제, maybe 17. You can do dedication by, dedicate by, you can do. This English.
Shall I read it?
Yeah. Well,
Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind, root and lineage lamas, divine assembly of Yidams and assemblies of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Yogins, Yoginis, and Dakinis dwelling in the 10 directions. Please hear my prayer. May the virtues collected in the 3 times by myself and all sentient beings in samsara and nirvana, and the innate root of virtue, not result in the 8 worldly concerns, the 4 causes of samsara, or rebirth as a Shravaka or Pratyeka Buddha. May all mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me and mine, obstructors who harm, misleading Maras, and the hordes of demons experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may I benefit all beings through my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of desire, hatred, ignorance, arrogance, and jealousy not arise in my mind. May attachment to fame, reputation, wealth, honor, and concern for this life not arise for even a moment. May my mind stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta. And through that, may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinity of space. May I gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. May the torment of suffering not arise at the time of my death. May I not die with negative thoughts. May I not die confused by wrong view. May I not experience an untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of mind as such, and the pervading clarity of Dharmata. May I, in any case, gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra at the time of death or in the bardo.
yeah, okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Translator, thank you.
Thank you, Robert.